I'm pulling some classics out tonight for you. Pulling some classics out. Get the headbangers out here.
I get a link from a friend, and that very day I first tuned in. Listen what you say, and my fears went away. Was so impressed, became a member that day. You're giving me a whole new approach to life. Something that was missing, I was trading in strife. Busted out the chains of corporatism. I won't have no more of you other wizards. DayTrader Radio, give me the tools. DayTrader Radio, told me not to lose. DayTraderRockStar working hard for us. He's screening all the stocks for the perfect set.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to turn that off in the background there. It's one of the many songs that have been written about day trading radio. I love them. I love them. All right, so I'm back here with you. I cut off the recording right after that song. It just died. I wanted to go over a fast video. It's been a lot of new setups recently, setting up real pure HPS, what I call HPS, playbook plays, real standardized trade patterns that have a higher probability of working, and they end up on what we call the high probability list or watch list. So a lot of those stocks that go on that watch list are typical of the stocks we look at. I'll give you an example. I think I could probably bring this up here. Why not for now? Members, I'll get that, so it's kind of it's a member's benefit here. So here you have, this is our latest watch list. So a lot of these stocks here that are just recently come out and they're in the watching phase. Some of them are actually, if they're green, that means they've entered their buy zone. Actually, if it's L, it means long. If it's S, it means short. Not many shorts in this market. If it hits green, that means it's triggered its entry price. You get an alert. The alert goes out. If it has a gold, that means it hit its profit point. If it's a red, it hit its stop. All right, and then each one comes with its basic setup here. Now Kellogg, you click on the chart here, and all these are connected to the back end. So your membership actually carries the you have that instant automatic alert goes when the price enters the zone here. Price enters the zone, you get the alert, you have your choice to enter in. In this case, I bought it into this, and it's just starting. But it's going in the right direction. This is what we're looking for, a nice move up. So it's in our zone. That's why it's green. So a lot of these stocks represent a certain sub. This is called a channel breakout first rotation. Channel breakout is a trend change, basically. The trend is down. A break of that channel is a trend change. And when you have a trend change, you're pushing back up. And the low of that breakout, when that channel was going down and then it turned up for the final time for a breakout, that pivot plays a big part of where you're going to, buy the stock off of. So we look for that rotation back, and when it's get oversold, that's when you're going to start buying. Lots of times you'll see a pullback defining just like you have a downtrend. Now you have a broke of the downtrend, but you have to put in a bottom here somewhere. So we're going to define the uptrend, and that's usually a pullback to the first rotation. So all these setups we've been taking are based off of this. There were some really good ones too. There's been many setups like this over the last week. I'll try to go over those. So that's what we're kind of counting on going into this end of this week, going into next week. Now the market's all-time highs. We're going to have a big jobs report on Friday. So this video is going to just kind of point out some of these stocks I think are going to wade through that. Good or bad news on that, but things that are looking really good, stable. I'm not talking the ITI here. I'm not talking anything. I'm talking really good position trades. Starting off with the Kellogg. I think the Kellogg is just about as good as they got. What was the best one was a divergence into a pullback. And that was in, and I didn't take it. I know Racer kept on pointing it out to me, Avalon Bay. Avalon Bay Communities here. It was a perfect pullback. It was a divergence, a lower low, a higher low, and an underlying channel line that went all the way back to November's low, came through May, and then we tagged it here. So everything about I circled it. I said, this is where I like it. Remember, my rule on charting is if I find a spot, I'll circle it as long as it's at the point where we are today, and then we can always go back and look at where we discussed it. In this case, I definitely saw this one, and I was like, this is definitely something I want to look at come Monday. And well, Monday came and went, and now it's ripping back up to the highs. So, but that's a textbook HPS setup. That's what we want to wait for. This was kind of pretty strong here too. I mean, it was almost a double bottom divergence. I would have said that was very bullish. Comparing to where the turn up here was and where the price was, it's very bullish. So at this point right now, Avalon Bay is out of, can't touch it, like MC Hammer said. All right, a couple other ones here that I am liking. Now this one, Walmart, also kind of falls into that same breakout first rotation. Started getting the follow through yesterday. Today we pulled back, but I don't think, this is a really good pullback. I think right between the 20 and 50 moving averages, you're good. I don't know if we're even get down to the 50, but this is just a nice pullback. Oversold. Not many times you get oversold on Walmart before it doesn't bounce back up 5 to 7 days. So this is on its way. Teladoc. I'm going with my best bets right now. Teladoc is up there, but it's not a best bet. It's more of a our timing has to be perfect on this because it's such a, it's not giving us any real bullish setups yet. But I like it here. I'm taking a shot on it. It's starting to move up for us. Yeah, so the Teladoc is interesting, but I wouldn't put it on the top 5 of the list. I would say Kellogg and Walmart here, very good setups right there. The couple new ones I had. All right, here we go. Starting to look at Mastercard. It's a nice channel here, and you're almost getting a retracement. Don't pay attention to this bad candle. This bad tail here was just an error of the charting service. But the closer you get to that line, the more interesting it does become. I don't think we're going to get down there. Mastercard alone, I usually like it, but I'm watching it. I don't think I'm going to get it right now. But I would, if we continue to watch it drift down towards this line, I would be all over this. All right, so we'll wait on that a bit. All right, the next one here. Just did a little research before I started recording this. I was on the computer now. Picked up Unity software today, and I was always a fan of this. And I remember charted it out here, and it's like, oh, we're going to get interested. I traded a little down here. Ended up getting out of it, and then just not looking back at it. Now it's to a point where I wish I was holding on to it down in the 80s. That was a really nice run up, and then back here we had a big reversal candle. This was a channel breakout. When we talk about HPS setups, this is a standard one. Nice channel, 1, 2, 3, 4 pivots, 5 pivots, breakout. Whenever you break out of a nice organized channel like this, the first pullback represents now the new trend line because you have the low here. Now you have a higher low, and that's why that's what you're looking to define. So you're looking for this rotation to get oversold, combine it with a candlestick, a big candle like that, and you're off to the races. So these are the areas we're looking for. And now Unity is a little bit higher from this level. They came out with good earnings. It's pulled back. It's popped. It's pushing up. I think we're going to get through this. I think this thing is one of the future great stocks out there. So trying to start a small position. I'd start a small position, but trying to kind of limp into this here. I would I like it. I do like it. If it pulled back here a little, I wouldn't mind it. No, it's not a, it is against some of the rules. It's not like an HPS that you need to get in tomorrow. I'm getting in it because I think we are going to pop this, and when we do pop it, I'm just not going to chase it. Even if it pulls back, I think it gives us an opportunity to add to it. It's going to go higher. They raised the guidance. They had great earnings. Revenues were up 48%. Just a matter of time. So this is getting to the top of my list. It was up there like with Square. Square's been kind of just, chopping around here, not really getting any range, getting up to the highs again. I was waiting for this to get back up here. We started to turn back up, but it's not really moving. It's not really moving too fast. So same thing with Boeing. Boeing keeps on running up against the 221 area. If I really define that on the 220, I have it on the other charts. It's really the 221 zone here, right up here. We have it in us to get through that or not, or are we going to push back down? We might have to put a breakout zone here, a 222. I think if we get out of this, just get out of this channel here, slight inverted head and shoulder channel, but really just a pop, and that'll bring us up to that trend line that I had measured out here. Here we are. That's on the daily. That'll bring us up to that trend line. It's a major trend line on this. We've tacked it once, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get up, we get through this level and up to the trend line again. That's going to be really good to get through that, and then you get some move. Yeah, you're getting 250. A little better look at the, how this pattern's playing out. You could see it on the 60. Really 220, 277. There's a small gap underneath us. That I'm looking for any action above the 222, and we get enough of a push back up. $26 is a gap. Check out this gap area. That's amazing. If you look back here, how many days it goes back, how it hit it here perfect. Then we came back and touched it here. Then we touched it here perfect. Then it gapped down and came down to it perfect and bounced and then failed and came back above it and then held it and then moved back up and then gapped underneath it and chopped around it. And then, look at this 226. You got like that as a big magnet also. I mean, this price, I went all the way out here. I just threw it in here, and going back and seeing how it really played a major part. You got to feel that price is going to make its way back up there to the 226. So I think we're going to make the move up. Take it, no Boeings fall out of the sky in the next couple weeks. Yeah, I'm liking this. It seems to be getting all right, and we have that hourlies on the 60s on our side right now. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. The daily, it's not bad. I mean, it really it's nothing. But the more I look at it with you right now, now I'm very convinced that I think I would try to push this trade on the breakout of this 7-8 day consolidation. I would play that a little bit more, then I'd get into some calls and stuff. I ended up putting ITI on the chart. Typically, the HPS setups are a little bit higher priced, more stable stocks. But and this one here is an interesting one because it has a beautiful technical pattern to it. Defining some nice levels. There's a big underlying trend line. We came down to a 1, 2, 3 channel. So I said, I want to throw it on here. This is our buy zone here. Profit zone here up through 7. This is very conservative. I actually think we get through $8 and we get, we could double on this thing if it gets the right news and the right, just the right eyeballs at the right time, and everything lines up properly. It could be a momentum trader, and it can move fast. Like I said, $10, and that sounds crazy, but this is one of those stocks that could do that. Big pattern, major breakout. So this is where we're at on that, and you can see since that buy trigger came, we're slowly moving up. We're slowly at this point now. The beginning of the green is where it went out, and again, it's going to be an explosive move like back here. It's not going to be like this. It's taking a long time, but just wanted to show it to you. It's one of the, and that's how you would update it. You just click on it. Why is this one saying watching? I think this one it just traded away from our buy entry zone. Let me double check this. Yeah. See what happened here? The day it opened up, I said, all right, we're just going to give ourselves just a little pullback. It gapped up next day and just ran to the target zone. I wanted this one. Actually, I think we did trade this one. I did trade this one. I was in it. We had a nice trade on it. But it never triggered on the HPS. I was hoping just to let you guys get a better fill than I did if you get down to that lower trend line. But as you can see, it gapped up and ran. That's why it says no ticky, no laundry. Disney's on. They'll let everyone else, they'll let the members check it out. Corning is... I want to look at Corning myself here because Corning's been disappointing to me. Especially today, it actually sold off pretty hard. Now let's take a look here where that is. This was the last time we were in Corning. It was around $38 and went all the way up here to 46, and now it's pulled back. And I was looking for a breakout. Let me see what's going on here. So did it trigger today, or I don't know why that didn't trigger here. I think that was over back here. But anyway, let's take a look at the bigger chart on this if we haven't already. I want to just get a different view of that because I do see that trend line underneath it. Actually, let me stay on this. I think I could make this smaller. I think you have the ability to really, when you bring it up in your charts, you can adjust all this stuff and make it see all the alerts that were on here in the past. The history goes back, so all these stocks usually, they still have the old alerts and stuff on it. This one, I want to see this trend line. All right, I don't know why it's not filling back here. Maybe it's just not set to fill that far back, but that trend line's there for a reason, so I have to look into that a little bit. But Doximity, DOCS, been in it already. Back up here towards the highs. The sky's the limit on this. It really is. Looks very strong. I think it could probably get through $100. I see nothing wrong with that one. It's just the newer, a newer stock. That's about it. That looks really strong. These are the ones where you're going to make the big percentage gains. If you're in the game, you have to take a little more risk on these. But these are the ones that they don't really have their set value, and people who don't understand the whole workings, and they, these moves could be pretty fast. This one from 65 to 95 in a few days. Wow, that was good. net here, one of my favorites. It just ran away today. Big breakout there. All-time highs. There's no reason why you can't be along this one. And that was just a nice rotation too. That rotated back down, held to 50, just moved right back up. Big move today. I'll bring up the video one last time. I want to send the video out portion of this out, and you know, just doing a little bit more research here, but I don't want to, you know, make a big video here. I think just looking back in this, and really starting to like a Boeing if it does break that 222. That would jump it up to the top of the list of something I want to be in there. Other than that, again, looking at our classic pullback in Kellogg and Walmart, they look good. It's kind of boring, but as stocks here, the Boeing here is higher on the list now as it gets closer and closer to holding that 222 area now. Markets here starting to push back up. Overnight trade is going on, and some other ones here I mentioned earlier in the video. I did not mention a few of them, you know, like but the Avalon Bay, kind of, Jesus, that still looks good. The Cerner, I didn't do an update on Cerner. I'm holding just a call on this, just because I wanted to be in a stock that has a rotation that fits the criteria. So I just grabbed it, and it's been sliding here a little, so it's not working yet. It was kind of that pullback. The one thing I would say is it did break down through the channel. That might be a reason to like overall trash the setup. You know, the criteria should hold above. It should really hold above the recent low. I mean, that's the reason that first pullback is defining an upward trend. So this, once it comes down to this level, it's pretty much broken at this point. So I'm not too comfortable with it. I only had one call just to be in it to see how well it worked. I don't think it's done yet. It could easily reverse. It's still in the right. It's still in the right zone. Just that it's not aggressively moving like Kellogg is or some other better setups. Avalon Bay especially. So, but I would you know, recognize that those pullbacks, you want to always be above the trend line. You don't want to pull back and be underneath that trend line. All right, so with that said, I was going to play you a closing song for the video. This is one of my favorites from JD. Here it is. This is. We could play this and not get booted off YouTube.